Go home. He was sitting out. Steve Kinzer starts on the outside of row number 2. The green flag falls over pole center Kenny Jacobs.
And going down into the first corner, Lance DeWeese did exactly what he wanted to do, get to the first turn first. The problem was the company he had behind him, Jacobs and Stevie.
Now, we mentioned that Jacobs was the pole setter. DeWeese in that Walt Dyer car number 461 is actually the fastest qualifier. He chose to start on the high side. Although he has been so successful here, Kinzer's only ranked second in all-time points to Doug Wolfgang on the Moody Mile. There is Howdenchild going the inside of Kenny Jacobs. Remember, we told you Howdenchild would be entertaining today.
He's down the front stretch. The move was made by Kinzer in heavy traffic as he ducked around DeWeese to take the lead.
And watch Lance almost lose control. He gets very sideways there in corner number 2, but he saves it only to have to contend with Jack Howdenchild. Now, Howdenchild has moved up to second, and as Kinzer moves up the lap, Ed Lynch Jr., watch what happens next.
Howd looks for some racing room off the fourth corner down the wide front straightaway. It was anybody's ball game, and going into corner number 1, Howdenchild rolled the dice, dove for the inside, pinned Kinzer behind the slower car, and made a colossal move through turn 2 to take the lead.
That was very interesting. It was just a simple matter was there was no lane there, but somehow Howdenchild found one. Jack Howdenchild had never led a lap here at Syracuse until today, but watch on this restart. This is one of those patent and outlaw restarts.
This is like the Oklahoma Land Rush. Fire a gun and it's every man for himself.
They start these races on the backstretch, not something that everybody agrees with. And look at there, Steve Kinzer had become the new race leader before the field was even scored at the restart of this race. Kinzer, three-time winner, Howdenchild, best career finish, the third.
Meanwhile, Johnny Herrera and Stevie Smith, whose car was leaking fluid under the red flag, had quietly slipped their way into the 3rd and 4th positions. Kinzer went down to the very bottom, blocked off Howdenchild as they went into the corner. Kinzer found himself again shut out. He could not get by Krautheim, and Howdenchild came sneaking up on the inside.
Jack Howdenchild may have had a slightly better working race car in this race. Now watch the next few laps. You see how much smoother Howdenchild's car is. But Steve Kinzer, with that gigantic heart between his two shoulders, would never say die.
And note, that was the 3rd time that Howdenchild had made a pass on the inside of turn 2. But watch this.
They're still trying to work their way around Len Krautheim. There's Jack Howdenchild, almost losing control. Kinzer slips by again.
He went around both of them on the outside, and meanwhile, Johnny Herrera came up and gave Jack a little love tap in the back end.
Now, his easiest lap was the last one.
I tell you, Steve kept his foot to the floor. The minute he got in the clear on this lap, left Howdenchild in the dirt, came down, took the checkered flag, running the last lap in 26 seconds flat.
Despite that, it was learned later on that he had a tire going flat during this last lap.
Stevie Kinzer, did you ever have to work so hard for a victory in your life?
That was a pretty rough one there. I'll tell you what, that was some close racing at a high speed.
That move on the front straightaway for the win, describe it.
I don't know. Every time I come back and start giving a little bit of room, her hard was right back, so I finally just had to stick my nose in, almost got it there in one spot where it didn't need to be.
Courage at the mile. What part did courage play in this victory?
Hell of a lot, I'll tell you that right there. Hell of a lot.